Alrighty, guys, check it out. So the CPI data came out this morning for March, and let me tell you, the stock market ended up exploding the second this number came out. Now it's cooled off a little bit, but still we're up all across the board right now. We have the Russell up, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the S&P, you name it. So we're going to break down the markets and the CPI data in this video, plus some stocks at the end. So if you all find value, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to get up to 15 free stocks from Moomoo, guys. What are you waiting for? Use that link down below. More on that later, and now let's dive into it. So currently it's about 10:30 a.m. on the East Coast when I'm making this video. We have the Russell up 0.3%, same with the NASDAQ and the S&P, and the Dow's up roughly 0.4% as the VIX is down 2.3%, right around the mid-18s right now, and we have gold and silver both up. Silver's up 0.7% as we have gold up 0.3%. And like I said, guys, the second the CPI data came out, the S&P 500 here, looking at SPY, went from 410 to 414. It pretty much went up about 1%, and since that level, it's cooled off a little bit, but still it's up 0.4% on the day. And we had Triple Q react pretty nicely as well. Let me show you this. Triple Q went from roughly, where was it, 315.16 up to about 320. That was a 1.3% move when the CPI data came out. Then it went right back down to 314, so essentially that entire gain got lost, and now we're starting to claw our ways back into the green. So before we break down the charts a little bit more, let me show you guys the actual data. Let me pull this up and we'll get into it. Where the heck is it, guys? Bear with me. So check it out, guys. Here we go. The consumer price index for all urban consumers rose 0.1% in March, which, if you guys remember, we covered this earlier. I think the estimate was 0.2%, so it actually rose less than the estimate on a seasonally adjusted basis after increasing 0.4% in February. And over the last 12 months, you guys can see the all items index increased 5% before the seasonal adjustment, which I think the estimate was 5.2, or was it 5.4? I think it was 5.2. So overall, the CPI, just looking at that, the headline number, it came in under the estimates, which of course is a very good sign. And the index for shelter was by far the largest contributor to the monthly all items increase. We'll talk about the categories here in a little bit. And core CPI, the index for all items less food and energy, rose 0.4% in March after rising 0.5% in February. So that's a good sign. That dropped a little bit, and you guys can see here the chart, which shows you the 1 month percent change in CPI for all urban consumers, seasonally adjusted for March 2022 to March 2023. And this is a percent change, right? You guys see. So last March, when the Russia-Ukraine war popped off, of course, we had a huge month of inflation, 1%, and we had a 0.4 in April, 0.9 in May of 2022, 1.2 in June. Those were some crazy times, right? Then of course July, we had that cliff dive down to 0%, and we've been pretty much contained under 0.5% pretty much for every month over the last roughly almost a year at this point, 9 months, which is a really good sign. And the fact that we've declined from January to February to March, you guys can see in 2023, we went from 0.5 to 0.4 to 0.1. That's a good sign. Now I'm waiting for the first negative month. When are we going to get a negative month? I don't know, guys. Will it be next month? Will it be a year from now? Will it be in a couple of months? I have no idea. What do you guys think? But that is what I'm waiting for. That would be quite something, right? If we did get a negative month after all of these huge spikes over the last, year at this point, over a year at this point. So these are the different categories, guys. Let's talk about these very quickly. So we have all items, we have food, energy, we have energy services, medical care commodities, apparel. So let's talk about these very quickly and outline what ended up popping the most, what did not do, what did not increase much month over month. So all items, again, that dropped from 0.4 to 0.1% from February to March. Food in general dropped as well. You can see in February it was 0.4%. Well, I can't outline this, but just listen along, guys. 0.4% in February. It dropped to 0 in March, which is great, but still in the last 12 months, it's up 8.5%. So food at home dropped a good amount. Actually, look at that. That's the first negative print in food at home, at least looking at the chart here over the past couple of months, which is great. Food at home in February was roughly 0.3%. Well, it was 0.3%. Now in March, it actually came in at negative 0.3%. Food away from home was 0.6% in February. That pretty much stayed the same in March at 0.6%. Energy dropped from negative 0.6 in February to negative 3.5 in March, so that was a big drop. We have energy overall down negative 6.4% over the last 12 months. And let's see any other massive drops that we had here or increases. Well, we had fuel oil increase. It was negative 7.9% in February. That came up to negative 4% for March. That's still down, though, in the last 12 months, negative 14.2% for fuel oil. That's pretty good. And if we come down a little bit more here, any other big moves? New vehicles actually increased from 0.2% in February. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. It's right above my head. It's hard to read these lines sometimes, guys. New vehicles, 0.2% in February. It came in at 0.4% in March. All right, it pretty much doubled. 6.1% in the last 12 months. And used cars and trucks, well, that is still negative, which is good considering those cars, the car market went ballistic during COVID. That is still declining pretty much every single month. It was negative 2.8% in February, negative 0.9% in March, which means it was down 11.2% for the last 12 months. Apparel came down a little bit from 0.8 to 0.3%, not too bad. And we had, let's see what else here. We have shelter, which if I come down a little bit more so you guys can see it, we had shelter go down from 0.8 to 0.6. That was 8.2% annualized or the last 12 months. And transportation services came up a little bit from 1.1 to 1.4. That was 13.9% over the last 12 months. So yeah, guys, it looks like inflation is starting. I mean, it's been starting to come down and it's continuing to come down. But we had fuel oil increase again, which that's something worth monitoring now that, OPEC is cutting production. We might see that go up a little bit more for fuel oil. And food is also one that I'm watching, which is coming down. Food in general, food at home is coming down a good amount. It's negative for March, and food away from home stayed the same. But if that starts creeping down, of course, that would be very good news as well. So let's go back over here to the charts and break down some key levels that I'm looking at on the S&P 500 and the good old NASDAQ. And by the way, if you guys haven't gone up to 15 stocks yet for Moomoo, what are you waiting for? Use that Moomoo link down below. Once you guys open up an account, you get 1 free share of stock. If you deposit at least $100, you get 4 more stocks, totaling 5 free shares of stock. And listen to this, if you deposit at least $1,000, you get 10 more stocks, totaling 15 free stocks. And by the way, they're doing a promo right now, a paper trading promotion. If you win the paper trading competition, you get a $1,500 cash prize, and you also get 1 month free of Benzinga Pro. So if you guys want a bunch of free stocks and a chance to win that paper trading competition, use that Moomoo link down below. It also helps out the channel. I appreciate you guys as always. And now, hold on a second. What is going on here? What happened in these last 10 minutes, guys? We have the markets now slowly turning green. Look at this. This is actually not good at all for the markets. Look at this. Triple Q, guys, we talked about, had a huge run to 320 in the morning. We saw the big pullback, which pretty much erased all the gains. Then we had that relief rally. Now it looks like we're getting rejected at these moving averages at a lower high on the intraday chart. That is not a good sign at all right here for Triple Q. Now we're dumping off to the intraday low being about 314.15. It looks like we're fighting to hold it right here, but I'm not too convinced that this will hold for sure for the rest of the day. So this looks like at any moment, by the looks of it right now, guys, it could fall under that 315 level. That's not good. But what is good is the fact that we did momentarily break out of the highs from a couple of days ago. You guys can see here on Triple Q. Yesterday, we hit around 319 in the pre-market. A couple of days before that, we hit about 318. So we did clear almost 320, so that is good. But we didn't hold that gain much at all. We barely held it. Now we're again falling back down to 315. So let's see what we do right around 315.16. That is a very big prominent point coming up for we're here right now on Triple Q and on SPY. Let me pull it up, which is still up 0.1% on the day, although it is giving back a lot of the gains. It's still up on the day. This at this point is at $410 a share. If I zoom in on the 4-hour chart, you guys can see we're still holding the 50 SMA, which is good. We're still above the highs from early March, which is good. That's right around 307. So good sign there. And the fact that we took out the highs from the 4th of this month about a week ago this morning, that's also a good sign. We hit around 312.75 or 412.75 rather back on the 4th of this month. And this morning, if you guys take a look on the intraday, we hit 413.75. So we took that high out, but we didn't hold it. We didn't hold that point as support, which is not the best sign. So we'll see how this goes moving forward, guys. It's teeter-tottering. The markets are going up. They're going down. They're moving all over the place. So let's see how it plays out over the next couple of hours. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hit that like button if you all found value in the video. And don't forget to get up to 15 stocks from Moomoo and 12 stocks from Webull. Free money, guys. Link down below. And if you guys want to see my Patreon, join it. Check it out. That's also linked down below. There's a bunch of perks on there. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys later.